So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to record that and I'm going to repeat that because it's super, super important for you guys. The first thing you're going to track is how many points you're getting per week, every single week. And you want to do that manually until you get really great at it and you're effective at it. The next thing is how many people are added to your sphere of influence every single week as part of that goal, because the cool part is you get 10 points on the 30-point system for everybody you add to your sphere of influence. Then you want the total number of people in your sphere of influence, because that should be going up and you should always know what that number is. The fourth thing is how many leads you generated based on the things that you're doing on a weekly basis. So if I get a bunch of points but I haven't generated any leads, we're probably getting points doing the wrong stuff, or we need to make some adjustments. In the context areas, like how many contracts did you get over the last week? Because it's a good thing to know. What we track expands. So if we're tracking something, it's going to be more likely to expand. It's more likely to be at the forethought of our brain. It's more likely to be something that's on our top of our mind and something we're going to be more likely to continue to do. And then the last thing, of course, is closings. So Vernell, the great part is if you got closings and these other numbers are in place, the system's working, right?
Right.
So I know based on the system that we're doing and the system that I teach with Jumpstart Masterclass is that I know if I consistently get my 30 points every single day, I should be able to generate about $80,000 to $100,000 a year in income just from 30 points a day. Now, as you get a couple more years under your belt, you're going to have more people in your sphere of influence, and you should be hitting right about that 10%, right? So literally, I can take this number of people in my sphere of influence, number of closings I have, that should equal 10%. If that doesn't equal 10%, then we're missing something in between, right? So the cool part is by tracking these 6 items, you're able to diagnose your business and you're able to tell in your business exactly where your business is and exactly where your soft spots are, right? So if I sit down with you and say, okay, show me over the last 3 months how many points you've been getting, how many people you've added to your sphere of influence, how many your total is in your sphere of influence, how many leads you're generating, I can diagnose your business straight off of that. So the cool part is once you get to the point where you get some experience and you get your knowledge base up, you're able to actually take the same information. You'll always be able to diagnose your business, and you'll always know exactly where your business stands and exactly what you need to do and make adjustments to it. So for the first 6 months or year or so, you want to work with somebody else that can help you work through this and help you diagnose it, right? Now, I'm sure you guys know this time of year in the north particularly, everybody and their brother's got a head cold or a sinus infection because the furnace is all turned on. And I left Michigan with a sinus infection. It took me like 3 weeks to get rid of it, right? So I've been there recently. It sucked. I had to travel with a sinus infection, which sucks even more, right? So I get that. So after a very short period of time, after you've had 1 or 2 of them, you don't call the doctor and be like, I have no idea what's wrong with my face. You get to the doctor, you're like, I've got a sinus infection, been here before, I know exactly what this is. You're able to self-diagnose, and there's a really good chance you're able to self-treat because, you know, unless it's really out of hand, you can treat it with herbs and spices, 7 herbs and spices, and that you can treat it with Kentucky Fried Chicken, right? Kidding. So you've got herbs and various things, and my wife's got a whole oil factory. I mean, we look like Kuwait over here half the time. We've got so many different oils. So we've got the little secret recipe. I got a natural way of getting rid of that, and it goes away and stays away because I very rarely get sinus infections now because we try to keep moving in the right direction, try to keep away from getting them. But it's the same exact thing with getting something wrong with you. You know, it's like, I know what this is. I know how to diagnose this. I've been here before, right? So if you know these numbers and you track them consistently, it gives you the ability to tell, am I doing my job or not, number 1. Number 2, where am I winning? Where am I losing? Where do I need to add more work? And it gives you the ability to communicate with me, and we can sit down and say, okay, well, let's go through your numbers. And with this, I can ask a couple of questions, and I can pretty much always tell you exactly where your business is failing. Or there's a gap somewhere, right? So instead of having this really great connection here, you're like, whoop, whoop, there's a gap right there. And then sometimes it's simply a matter of saying, okay, well, if we do this, this will plug the gap, and next thing you know, boom, this number starts popping out the backside, right? So the biggest thing right out of the gate, all the way across the board, the 2 most important things to know are going to be what is in your sphere of influence and how many closings you have. So when we're talking about business planning for 2020, you know, for you guys, you might be saying, okay, a great thing for me is 20 in 2020, right? I want to do 20 closings in 2020. Well, how are you going to get there? You need to have 200 people in your sphere. So for James, brand spanking new, putting this together, you got to grow this baby, right? So the cool part is you're young and you're getting out and you're meeting people. And if you get through the rest of the Jumpstart program, you'll see a bunch of different ways to connect to people without creeping them out. You'll be able to add to your sphere of influence, and then you can start tracking the rest of the numbers. So if you did nothing else for a business plan for 2020, nothing else at all, say, I am going to commit to doing step number 1 and 2 of the Jumpstart program, which is track your sphere, get the list together, and deliver value consistently, and then just track these numbers. So if you said, I'm going to do 3 things in the new year for my business as a goal. I'm going to do step 1 and 2 of the Jumpstart program. Ideally, if you did 1, 2, and 6, and you'll know what that is later, James, 1, 2, and 6, and track all of these numbers, we can literally dial your business into anywhere you want. Now, it takes a little bit of time to get these numbers, and it takes a little bit of time to get consistency. The cool part is you're always consistent. Have you heard me say that one before, James? You're always consistent. You're either consistently consistent or consistently inconsistent. Either way, you're consistent, right? Mm-hmm. So the key is to slowly build in and build that connection so that you're consistently getting the right stuff, and you're consistently getting the right information, you're consistently moving your business forward and tracking it so that at some point you can say, okay, this isn't working as well or as good as I would like it to. I want to do so. What do I do? And my first question would be like, okay, how are you doing on your points? And the second question would be, when was the last time you delivered value? That's step 1 and 2, right? And, like 1 and 2 with the point program also. And then the third thing is how many total people you have in your sphere of influence. Great. What are we doing with them? Okay. So if we can't answer those questions and we're not tracking these numbers, it makes it almost impossible to be able to diagnose your business. So it would be like this. I'm going to put a blindfold on you, Vernell. I'm going to spin you around with a gun in your hand, and I'm going to say, shoot the target. And your first question is going to be like, where the hell is the target? Like, I have no idea which way I'm facing, much less where the target is, right? So your first shot, so then what do? You do like most real estate agents do, and they're like, okay, we're salespeople, right? There's a 3-step process to making decisions and doing stuff. It's called ready, aim, fire. Most real estate agents are fire, fire, fire. What are we aiming at? Right? They're like, bang, bang, bang. It's like, what are we aiming at? They're like, that way. And they're like, okay, bang, bang, bang. What specifically over there are we aiming at? Down on the ground. You're shooting at the rabbit. Oh, got it, right? So what happens is when you're going bang, 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 you're shooting holes in a bunch of crap you don't need to be shooting holes in, and you're not hitting the target. The chances of hitting the target blindfolded, spun around, is next to nothing, right? Blind squirrel rules. Well, that's how most real estate agents go through their business, and when you're going through your business like that, it's frustrating, aggravating, takes a ton of time, energy, and effort. It doesn't get you the results you want, and then you sit back at the end of the year and you're like, this year sucks. This year was not what I wanted. It was not what I expected. It wasn't going the direction I wanted to go. And I will tell you this, from a business planning standpoint, if you just did step number 1 and 2 in the Jumpstart system and add 6, which is long-term drip campaigns for everybody, and then track these numbers, at any point you can pick up the phone and call me and we can go through this and we can diagnose exactly where the problem is. Pretty cool, right? So if you have the ability to go to a car dealer, so James is a car guy, he likes cars a lot. So you go to the car guy and you're like, hey man, I want to add a little bit more horsepower to this thing. First thing he's going to say is, well, how much horsepower do you currently have? I don't know. Let's stick it on the dyno. Let's measure it. And you're going to jump the car on there and you're going to measure it. And you know, your car's going to be running like 240 horsepower. And you go, okay, great. So where do you want it to be? I want it to be 300 horsepower. Okay, perfect. So to get to 300 horsepower, you have a couple of options. You can add a blower to this thing, Whipple supercharger this baby, or you could throw a turbo on. Now, you got 2 options with turbo. So it's like adding 100 horsepower to a car is actually fairly easy. A little bit pricey, but fairly easy. And then the next thing you do after you throw the turbos on it, because that's the best solution, you put a big one and a small one, now you boost the snot out of it. Make sure you get a wastegate because they sound great when you let off the throttle. And then you stick it back on the dyno and say, did what we do work? Right? Because if, you know, I see this with motorcycle guys all the time when I was racing motorcycles. The guy's like, man, I put turbo blue 110 in my bike. And I'm going, really? Did you adjust the carbs? And they're like, no, why? I'm like, if you don't adjust the carbs, you got to adjust the carbs and adjust the timing if you're going to put that kind of gas in you actually made your bike slower, right? But they don't think it through. They're like, more octane means more horsepower. No, it doesn't. It means it blows up slower and more control. So you can actually delay timing. You can play games with the timing, right? So once you start knowing that information, you start going, okay, well, if I'm going to do that, then I need to do this, this, and this, and that's the way I generate horsepower. And then we stick it back on the dyno and go, okay, 240 before, now where's it at? If it's at 340, we won. If it's at 360, you're like, hell yeah, right? Never had anybody put a turbo on a car yet that said, man, that's too much horsepower. Well, the good news is you can always dial it back if it's too much. I don't know anybody that does, but you know, you could always dial it back if you need to. But if you only hit 260 or 270, you're going to be upset. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to be like, man, I spent all this time, energy, effort, money on this, and the stupid thing only got me 30 more horsepower. Well, geez, that's not what I bought. It's the exact same thing with a real estate business. So when you say, here's where I am, here's what I'm going to do, and then we got to measure it. If you don't measure it, it's just a guess. The great part is you always have the measuring tool. All you got to do is look at your bank account, right? Your bank account's going up, something's working. Your bank account's not going up, something's not working. So you always have that built-in barometer, but it's nice to know how many closings you had and how much money you generated from closing. So when I say to a real estate agent, how much money did you make last year? And they say to me, I don't know. Or they're like, yeah, somewhere around. What do you mean you don't know? That's like the number one thing you're in business for is to make money, and you don't know what the number is? It's like saying, I own 50 really beautiful cars, and I don't know how to drive. Let me back up. I own a number of bass guitars, and I've built 50 electric bass guitars, and I have no idea how to play a guitar. Okay, so, yeah. I mean, it is what it is, right? But it would be like having a bunch of beautiful, like Jay Leno doesn't know how to drive. I mean, the guy's got the most beautiful car collection in the world of crazy, exotic, crazy, unique stuff, and he doesn't know how to drive. That would be insane, right? It's the same thing with your real estate business. You got to make sure you're tracking numbers. You got to know what your numbers are. In worst case, you got to know what your closings are, of course. How many closings did you have, and how much money did you make? You should know that information, right? This is basic business 101. I'd be like, go into McDonald's and asking the McDonald's person, are you profitable or not? And he looks at you and he goes, I don't know, man. We just make burgers and fries. Said nobody ever, right? Every business person in the world that's got a business, that's tracking their business, running their business, should know what their numbers are. And you're basically become your own bookkeeper for a little while, and or get somebody else that can do it for you. So at the end of the year, you can say, hey, how did I do? And then we can diagnose that business. So if you say to me, hey, I made X amount of dollars this year, I want to make X amount of dollars next year, I can go into this formula and say, okay, here's what we need to do. Start with step one. Grow your sphere, deliver value. Work your way through, right? If we do just those things, your business can explode. So that's really the key core of business planning thinking. If you're going to do a minimum, that's it. And then the second thing I want to make sure you're doing and thinking through right now is, what do I want my life to look like on a personal side for the next year? So you got a really simple business plan for your business. Do step 1 and 2 and track this stuff every single week. Then the second thing is, I want you to get really clear on what you want your life to look like. James, step number 1 in the Jumpstart process, session 1, talk about establishing goals. What do you want? What do you want your business to look like? How many closings do you want? Once we know how many closings you want, I can go backwards and tell you how many people in your sphere and what you need to do, right? So you got to know how many closings you want. But with that, when you get this money and you make $100 grand a year, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to experience? What are you going to buy? What are you not going to buy, right? Don't go out and buy a Lambo right out of the gate. If you can't buy it cash, don't buy it, right? Go do what are you going to do fun? You know, what are you going to do for your family? What are you going to do for your friends? What experiences are you going to provide for yourself? Remember, life isn't about things. And they say, if you want to actually buy happiness, buy experiences. If you're buying experiences with people you love, it's way more gratifying and way happier and adds more happiness to your life than actually buying crap. Now, I'll tell you, I really like my car a lot. It makes me very happy. So that doesn't always apply, right? I like driving my little yellow jelly bean around. I think it's the greatest thing in the world. But with that being said, when you get to have experiences and when I get to take it to the track and race it with some of my friends, those experiences and being able to do those things with my friends are a ton of fun. Going to a car show and hanging out with some of my buddies, it's a ton of fun. It's the experiences I get to do with the car that I really get a kick out of. And of course, stomping another car once in a while in a drag race is always fun too. But with that said, you got to start saying, what do I want to do with this, right? So the what you want to do with your money is the thing that's going to motivate you, and you got to get a clear list on that, right? So first thing first on the goal list is like, what do I really want? What do I want my life to look like? Who do I want to see? Who do I want to hang out with? What do I want to do? Where do I want to go? That's the kind of stuff you want to put in there, because that's the stuff that you wake up in the morning and say, I don't want to go to work today, but I really want to go to Italy for a month. So in order to go to Italy for a month, I got to get up and do my stuff, right? I don't really want to work today after work, James, but I'm going to go call that guy anyway, because I know if I get that, I might be able to actually resign from my job and do this full time and really enjoy my life. So you got to start figuring that out. So for James, it might be like, hey, I'm going to do this, and my goal is to be My goal is to be retiring from the automotive company in 6 months and being a full-time real estate agent. Maybe that's your goal, right? If that's your goal, that's going to change the way you do things. It's going to change your sense of drive. So if you're saying, hey, I don't feel like doing something, it's because you're not aiming at anything. If you've got a good goal and a good strong goal and it makes you feel good, you think about that and you focus on that. And when you're thinking and focusing on that, then you can take your business to the next level. So that's kind of the things you want to start setting up, even if you just get basic, simple goals. Like Vernell, I don't know if you saw my 6-figure sphere post. It's like, if you haven't set up goals already, do it now. Block out time for it. Block out an hour. Make time to sit down and do it. Block out 2 1-hour slots. Think about it, and then write stuff down, and then think about it a little more and write stuff down again. That's what you want to do to take your business to the next level, and that'll help you actually establish a better plan for next year and motivate you to do this stuff. Sound good?
Yeah.
Sounds great.